sunshine. Welcome to Conversations with Celena, the podcast where we discover inspiration, motivation, and information to help you live your best life. I'm your host, Celena, aka Sunshine, and each week we'll dive into conversations with guests who share their testimonies, insights, and advice. We'll explore topics that uplift, encourage, and empower you to be the best version of yourself you can be. So tune in and let's have some fun while we explore all that life has to offer. Keep it smiling, sunshine, and let's go. Hey, sunshine. We are back. Welcome to another episode of Conversations with Celena. If this is your first time, welcome. If you're returning, you know that we love you and we thank you so much for your continued support. Guess what? We are back again. I was here at 11 o'clock this morning and now I'm back at 7. Y'all know that I have to absolutely love conversations with Celena, and I do. Tonight, I do not have a bio because I don't even think a bio is needed for tonight's guest. He is just adorable, okay? And this is a pop-up episode, right? He was asked, would you go on to Conversations with Celena? And he said yes. So I want you all to welcome tonight's guest, a warm welcome, because this is the first time that he has been on a podcast, the first time that he has been live, the first time that he is sharing his testimony. So I want you all to welcome to the stage. Let me get over here so I can do my hand clap. Hold on, let me get it. Oh, my mouse don't want to work. See, the devil. Here we go. I want y'all to welcome to the stage Jemoria Dorr.
Hello.
Welcome. You're so handsome.
Thank you.
Yes. How old are you?
I am 19 years old. Young.
A baby. You a baby. What did you say after the 19?
I'm 19 years young.
Young. Okay, I didn't catch that part. You're 19 years young. Well, baby, I'm 53 years young.
Young. Never old.
Never old. What they say, nothing gets old but clothes. Now, see, my mouse want to cut up. Hold on 1 second.
Black don't crack.
I know that's right.
Okay.
Hey, Pastor Wallace, thank you for joining. Okay, so thank you so much for taking the time out to come on Conversations with Celena. I do appreciate it. I feel so honored that you said yes. And I mean, you didn't hesitate. You said yes. So thank you so much for trusting us to share your story and your testimony. I'm so excited for you.
Yes,
because for me, and I'm 53, so I'm really excited for you to be able to share your story and your journey at 19 versus when you're 50 like me, because it's just so freeing. It is so freeing. So I'm excited.
Thank you. Because some people, they go through things and they just want to brush it under the rug or hold it until they're like dead. And it's like, why do that whenever you could address the problem head on?
You could address it head on. So I know that we named your episode Grown Too Soon. Tell us a little bit about why you chose that to say, I had to grow up so fast and too soon.
I chose that title because that's one thing that people like to sweep under the rug. They like to put younger people in positions, and then whenever the younger person take in whatever they're being put through from an adult, then that shapes and forms them into a person that they didn't want to be, but they were pushed out there, grown too fast to do so. So whenever that happens, the parents, they start looking at you like, you're just a disgrace over something that they did,
And you're misunderstood. So
Yes.
that's how I feel, based on just my experience and going through school and being called names and talked about, but just no one taking the time to know why you're behaving this way or why you're turning to these type of behaviors and activities. And it's a way of coping, it's really a way of coping. And I wish that the counselors in school were more to be counselors for your mental and not just counselors for your academics, and making
Exactly.
sure you're signed up for the right classes, because what good are the classes if your mental is not where it needs to be?
Without your mental, you're nothing. And that's something that's always brushed under the rug also. Your mental is you.
Your mental is you. That's right. So how was it growing up as a young Black male in Atlanta area?
Well, I was there till I was 4 or 5, so it, I was in Picayune, Mississippi most of my time.
Oh, so you've been in Mississippi. Okay. I did not realize that. So, okay, how is it growing up in Mississippi? I think I already know the answer, but how was it?
Growing up in Mississippi, it's 10 years behind, I feel like. It's so much more different than any of the other states. Like, yes, if you go to another state, prices might be more higher than Mississippi, but also it's more advanced than Mississippi. It's more known. They got more diversity in other states. In Mississippi, it's racist, Jim Crow kind of days, but it's more just look past. They just
Sweep it under the rug.
sweep it under the rug, and it's like y'all need to grow. People need to grow, and being not only a Black man, but being a gay Black man in Mississippi, horrible. And there's some pros and cons to it, but it's like it's nothing like going to any other state. It's horrible.
I hate to hear that. I hate to hear that for you, especially like you said, being not just a Black man, but a gay Black man in Mississippi is difficult. I mean, it's like it's it's so frowned upon, and people are not loving the way that they should be loving to the person. They're being
Absolutely.
more judgmental of a behavior and don't even understand maybe why the behavior is happening. You know what I mean? So I wish that we would go back to just loving and not judging, because that's what we're instructed to do, to love and
Right.
not to judge.
That's all people do is judge. Like, even if you're judging in private, like, you're still putting that energy out there. And I don't think that's what people understand. Even if you judge a person in their face behind, you know, behind a phone, it doesn't matter because you're still putting that energy out there into the world, and you're just making yourself more of a bitter person instead of just, loving a person. Or if you don't love something that someone do, don't sit there and judge them, but why would you also sit there and let what they do take control over your life and your mental?
Hmm. I mean, and it's hard when that's the environment that you're in, not to let it take a toll, because
Mhm.
even though you're saying they may be able to judge in private, I believe that your actions are still going to show in
Exactly.
public. I'm not going to just see, but I'm going to feel your energy and how you really feel toward me. You're not going to be able to hide it forever. You can fake it for a minute, but if you truly have an issue with me, and a lot of people just, like you said, sweep things up underneath the rug. And do you know how many times you've already said sweep it underneath the rug? How big of a mountain these rugs have become, because we're forever sweeping it under the rug and sweeping it under the rug. And when you do that and you don't deal with it, it negatively affects your mental health. So how was your mental health? How would you describe that, having to grow up as a black male that's gay in Mississippi or wherever you've been? Because it sounds like you've been more places. So just how have you coped and dealt with that?
Um, the biggest thing, whenever it first started like coming, whenever I first came out as gay, yeah, it was a hard thing. It was a mental thing that I had to go through, But it's something that changes you, and you know, you start living your life with. Like, the stuff don't start to affect you as much anymore. It's like whenever you step outside of the box that people put you in, it's the biggest problem ever. And that's what I just realized. Like, y'all are sitting over here and making comments about someone else's life. Now, if I can't say that's more gayer than what, because why are you worried about someone else? Was definitely another man if you're a man, but like, I just started clapping back, like, yo, you're gay. You're gay too. You want to sit up here and call me gay? You're gay for being up in my business, my life. This is my life. You have your own life. It's not for you to judge me.
It's
So,
it's not for anyone. And I think people sometimes their intentions may try to be coming from a good place, but it doesn't come across that way, And I believe sometimes people want the best for you, but they don't know how to communicate it and articulate it in a way that is loving, that gives you a safe space to talk about, how you feel and what you've been through in your life, to understand how and why you're at this place in your life. Like, if you're snapping back at people, why are you snapping back? Because you're tired now of being snapped on and looked down upon and talked about and misunderstood.
exactly.
Yeah, I understand, and I do hate that for you.
No,
But
I'm
you
grown.
are
I've grown past it.
I see. That's what I was just about to say. I hate that you had to experience that, but we all, I believe, have been through some very traumatizing things, but it has made us who we are today. And we're here sharing our testimony, and that takes strength. And so, again, I'm very proud of you for being able to come on here and just talk about your life and your story.
Thank you.
So, you said you came out. How old were you?
I was 11, 10, 11.
And you
But
came out to who did you tell?
uh, well, the host, do you want to hear the whole story?
Go ahead, tell me the whole story. Let me get comfortable. Go ahead.
Okay. So, I always knew who I was. What I want to start with, I never had an enemy. I didn't learn my first enemy until it was my birth mother. I don't think, like, it shouldn't be that, but it's a big thing too. Mothers, dads, parents could be jealous of you. They cannot like you. They could be envy of you. Why? Who knows? Um, I always, as a kid, been way open minded. I always knew who I was, but I didn't label it because I was a kid. Like, even at 7, doing my own thing, I knew who I was, playing with Barbie dolls. Girlish, feminine, okay, but I didn't want to put a label on it. So, my birth mother, it's so crazy because both of y'all have like the same name, Sunshine. That's her nickname, Sunshine. So, she was a truck driver. She was in and out of my life. She wasn't really there most of the time, but I tried to have a connection with her whenever she did come into my life, but it wasn't really there because you know how they be like, your dad left and went and got the milk, but it's like it's not like that, but you leave and then you come back, you leave and then you come back. That's already a strain on our relationship. So
Mhm.
it's like we don't have the best relationship of mother and child. So it was really hard to trust her. So whenever I was trying to trust her, she just called me out the blue one day. And she was like, "Hey Mari, I love you. I love you so much. You're my son and you can trust me." And I'm just like, "Well, you are my mother and I do want to like build that trust." And she asked me, she was like, well, are you gay? And I told her, like, on the phone. I stepped out the room. I was like, yeah, I am gay. And she was like, oh, okay, I still accept you. And then it was like the next week, whenever everyone knew, she outed me. So it's like, I didn't really get the chance to come out. I was just brought out. And that also made me move a lot more faster because I got into the gay lifestyle faster instead of, like, slowly going into it. It was it was a lot. But I adapted, and then that's whenever I started going through, like, all the hate and, mental stress with it. That's what changed me and built me to, have the strongest mentality now. But I didn't really get to come out. I was just brought out.
Wow. And she said all of those things before asking you the question, making sure that you felt comfortable enough sharing that with her. And then she just told everybody.
I I can go down a whole book of things of what she did, but one thing I really want to know, to whoever watches this, if you're a parent and you do something to your child, it's not okay to put the lollipop on the ground and roll it in grass and then give it to the child, or like wash it off and then give it to the child. That's not taking away the bad thing you did before then. Like, parents hate to take accountability to the trauma that they put their child through, and then want to act like you're supposed to be so forgiving, or just upwilling there to love them. And I don't think that's fair, because at the end of the day, we didn't ask to be here, but you want us to also respect you and kiss your feet after you done put someone through so much trauma and, you know dismiss.
So when your mom was on the road, who were you with?
My grandma. I don't
So
know if you know Miss Ida.
I don't think so.
um my grandma.
So did you have a good relationship with your grandmother?
Yes, well, I call her my mom. That's my mom.
Well, that's good. At least you had a good relationship or have a good relationship with your grandmother. Are
Yes,
you
ma'am.
feeling a little emotional?
No, I'm okay right now. I mean,
Okay.
if I got into talking about her, I would most definitely cry.
I understand. So I want you to just feel comfortable sharing the parts of your story that you are comfortable with sharing tonight. And I know sometimes when you get to talking about certain people, there are emotions, different emotions apply to different people. And sometimes when you are sharing your testimony, you could be on like, it's like a roller coaster ride. And
It is.
we want you to leave mentally healthy after this.
Okay.
Okay. So you said 10 or 11, you knew that you were gay.
Yes, ma'am.
Anything happened prior to that, or do you feel like this is how you were born?
I feel like this is how I was born. That's a big conversation in, the gay community and the straight community. Some people would be like, no, you weren't born this way. Something changed you. And I'm just like, I can remember most of the things that I went through, and I just always knew who I was, knew who I was attracted to, knew who I liked and who I didn't like. I've always looked at women as like sisters and just friends, but never anything more.
Well, that's good because some people are very like on the fence and they struggle in that area of, their sexuality and who they're attracted to. So,
Oh, absolutely. And I hate that so much. That's another big thing in the gay community. The DL men, it's horrific how they go back and forth from women to men. And then, some don't use protection and they go around passing, STDs. That's absolutely disgusting. And I'm just like, if you're going to be who you're going to be, just be who you want to be. But also, I do understand because there's so much judgment in the world.
It is, but it's also unfair for you to have a mate that you know you're just using as a cover. You know,
Absolutely.
the significant other and the kids, they're all just a cover for you to hide who you really are and pretend like you fall in the box of the norm. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah. And it's a lot of them. It's a lot of them doing that to women. I had a friend that just recently went through something similar to that. And it's so hurtful. And like you said, they feel so dirty and disgusting because here I'm being faithful to you, but you're out doing this that I never would sign up for. So you need to share it with me, but you're not because you know I'm not going to sign up for that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They should give the women a choice for sure.
You should
That's
have a choice to expose yourself to being in a non-monogamous relationship.
yeah, no, it's really sickening, and that's why STDs rates are going up more higher. And I don't. They didn't used to do it back in the day. They didn't used to like tell black women a lot to like they should get on prep. That is saying a lot. That is saying like not only black women, but they're telling everyone, but it's mostly in the black community to get on prep because it's way past just the gays now. It's like you said, these men are going out here laying with both sex and then, going back to their women. It's just,
Mhm. Yeah, I had a lady that was going to come on, and we still have to we still need to reschedule that. But that's pretty much part of her story. And I also had another lady from Mississippi who came on here who shared her story, also of becoming HIV positive because of their husband or significant other. And the most hurtful part about the whole thing, I don't even think it was that they contracted it. It's because the person you knew beforehand and you did not disclose it. And you put me in this situation where I'm having a lifetime of having to take medication and having to have these follow-up visits and all of this stuff to make sure that I'm in a healthy place. So I've actually had a guest on before talking about that.
no, it happens a lot and it's really sick. It's just like okay, if you did your dirt and you caught it, why would you leave right then? Well, you should leave before then, but why would you be so low down to stay and give it to someone else? Like, that is just so sick.
I think a lot of people just be like, I got it. So, they don't want to be in it. They don't want to be the only ones with it. So they share that package with other people.
My
So
heart goes out to them.
I know. Mine too.
Real sad.
Yeah. So, is there anything else that you feel comfortable sharing about maybe your childhood? I know that you sound like you were very confident in who you were.
Mhm.
So you didn't have an opportunity to come forth. Someone outed you. So you had to grow up quickly and mature in your mind quickly. But how did you interact like with your family after that and the people at school after that? Like, what did that look like for you?
I lost a lot of friends, and then even family members turned their back on me. That was the biggest like awakening to it all. Like, just because family is family, it doesn't mean anything. Like, they turned their backs on me, they stopped talking to me, they blocked me, and it's like, I thought we were cool. Like, you couldn't still love me the same way, but it's just something I had to adapt to. I've been through so many friendships from it, and I've learned no matter what, like, you'll never know anyone's true intentions in life. Like, one thing can happen and they could turn their back on you. And that was just my biggest lesson in life. Like, you can't really trust people the way that you want to trust people.
Mm-hmm.
So it just makes life harder.
Yeah.
But it also makes you tougher and stronger, and it makes you be able to go through life more smoother, because if I already learned this lesson with one person, I will not go through that with another person at all.
Mm-hmm. So as you were going through all of this, what did you turn to? Like, you have these people that's turning their back on you, that's blocking you. Like, how did you cope? Were there books, movies, anything that you gravitated to make you feel like you were not alone because everybody else is turning their back on you? So how did you cope with that?
Well, it's not the best way, but Gen Z social media.
What'd you say?
I'm Gen Z, just social media, just been on
Oh,
social media all the time, games and stuff.
social media.
Yeah, just putting my mind off of it, just like, just forgetting about it. But instead of getting conclusions like to the situation, because, it just all happened so fast, I just had to sweep it under the rug and just like keep it on my body for a long time. But it went away because it was new things. Life didn't stop there.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just new experiences, new life choices. I just outgrew it.
Have you found your community now though?
No,
'Cause you're from Mississippi, so I'm just like, yeah.
never, never move here. Like, never. Unless you want to retire and, just be in a
That's
quiet, but never live here.
it's definitely a retirement community. So what would be like the one thing that you would want to share with other people to learn from your experience? Like, what would be that nugget of wisdom that you would say to someone else? Like, if you find yourself in this situation, whether it be you feel different, or you feel outed, or you feel betrayed by family, like, what would be that nugget of wisdom that you would want to share?
Life doesn't stop there. At the end of the day, you only have yourself, so it's it's better off to not depend on anyone. You don't have to go out into this world looking for validation of others, because at the end of the day, everyone don't even have their own stuff together.
Say that
Everyone
again for the people in the back.
everyone has their own flaws.
Yep.
So it's not right for anyone, absolutely anyone, to judge anyone. But if you are being judged, do not let that, ruin your whole life from one day.
Because it's one person's opinion. And even if there's numerous people, it's still like over 8 billion people in the world. And so we get fixated on like these specific people with specific titles in our life that we're passing through. And from our born date to our transition date, it's really not that long. And so, how do you want to spend that time in between? That's what we have to ask ourselves. And I don't want anyone to get, as they say, over the hill, which is probably like, I guess, over 40, over 50. I don't even know. I think it's over 50 when they call you over the hill. But I don't want anyone to get over the hill just now deciding, I'm going to live my life and not to please other people. Because
Exactly.
that's exhausting, trying to make everyone happy because this person wants you to be this way, this person wants you to do that, and you're forever changing roles with different people instead of remaining the same. No matter where you are, no matter what room you're in, you're who you are, and you either love me or you don't. But it doesn't change how I feel when I look at the woman or the man in the mirror, because I love me.
Yes,
Do you
ma'am.
feel like you love you?
Yes.
I see that. I see that. And you should. You
I mean,
should.
no one else is going to love you like you love you. So,
That's right. That's right. And so, like, what about like your church family?
my church family,
Do you have support there?
yes. I mean, in some parts, everyone has their own different thought in churches. But I personally, I don't go to my church. I don't go to anybody's church.
Why?
Well, the only reason I don't go to people's churches is because church people are the people that would judge you the most. Like, they will walk in there and act like they have not sinned not one time, and they will sit there and judge you if it's out loud or even if it's quiet. That's the biggest mistake in history. Literally in the Bible is it tells you not to judge anyone because it's not for you to do.
It's not for you to do. And I hate that. I hate that you feel that way because we're supposed to be able to go to the church and feel accepted and loved. And if you're
Absolutely.
not feeling that, I also I hate that for you. And I would like to think not every place would do that, but maybe it sounds like every place that you've been to, huh?
I don't think every place. Well, I don't, I've only been to one church, but I don't think every place does it. But most of them do.
Okay.
They brush other things out the rug, but whenever it comes to homosexuality, it's you're going straight to hell. You're buzzing it wide open. But the uncle that's in your family that raped someone isn't. Okay, that's crazy. They brush that stuff under the rug, but whenever it comes to homosexuality, that's the biggest sin in worldwide. You go out there and you go gossip to someone else, that's a whole sin itself.
Well, don't get me talking about the people, the uncles and the relatives and all of those folks that's disgusting and take advantage of children and nothing ever happens to them. And you have to find a way to deal with this every single day, how to cope with the things, the choices of someone else. And
Right.
so you're right. Like, how is it that they can harm you? I mean, traumatize you, and you're the one in the wrong because this is what happened. This was the outcome of it. Absolutely not. Like, that's not right. That's not right for them to brush it underneath the rug and act like their uncle, their pastor, their coach, their whatever, whoever they were, didn't do any wrong.
And people praise pastors like they're just God themselves. And that's not right either. Because pastors have dirt under their nails also.
Yeah, I am. Someone sent me this. It was a video of a man sharing his story, and he was talking about his mom was his mom sang in the choir. I want to say his dad was a pastor or a minister or something. But during church service, the kids would have to go into this room. And even sometimes after church service, the the dad and the mom would let some of the other people from the church just come and have their way with their children. And the guy was like, it was the guy telling the story, and he says, I really hate it for my sister. My sister had a harder time with it than what I did because I think maybe she had so many different pregnancies by these men. And he said, I hate it for my sister more than I hated it for myself. But literally, my parents would let other ministers and people from the church just come run through them however they felt, however they wanted. Like, I I still have the video too. And I shared it with a few people who actually have been through similar situations. And it's just, it's hard to believe, but then it's not hard to believe because people do all sorts of things these days.
Absolutely. Some churches, they also do things just for the money of the church, you know. They take the money from the church and do whatever with it whenever people are actually coming there, putting their money into the church.
Yeah. I don't know what they do with the money, but I tell you that situation with the children, that just made me sick to my stomach. Because if I give you money, you do what you want to do with it. I know I gave it from a place of a good heart, and whatever you do with it, that's between you and God. But you are right. They don't always do the right thing with the money. And not all people and not all churches operate like that. So I guess
Exactly.
that's the good thing about it, because we can't group everybody in
Right.
every organization the same. So, if it's a desire, I hope that you do find that place, that community. I know that there's people having church outside of the four walls, which is also very freeing because inside it's like it doesn't always move in a way that is loving and kind. But you can get outside those walls sometimes, and baby, people can speak a word into your life because we're the church. We are the church. It's not the building. We get it all twisted and
Right.
confused about the building, but we need to do what's right by the people that we come in contact with. So,
Exactly.
did you have any questions over there, Pastor?
She said no, ma'am.
Okay. All right. I don't know. I'm trying to think if I have anything else that I want to ask you. You spoke so well the other night, and I was like, yes, this is going to be amazing. But, I don't want to pry too much. I definitely want you to share what you're comfortable sharing. So if there's anything that I didn't ask you that you feel comfortable sharing, you can most definitely do that. I hope I've made you feel comfortable tonight.
I feel, one thing I would like to speak on is, molestation. Molestation, it doesn't only happen to women, it happens to boys too. Little boys. I don't have my own story to tell about molestation, but what I do want to put out there, men are sick and men are dogs. They don't care who you are, they don't care what you are. They will come after you. And there's plenty of young boys out there that have turned into men that still has that trauma on them from the molestation. And just because they're a boy, they feel they can't speak out also. And that's not right and it's not fair. Everyone deserves to, have their words looked upon whenever it comes to a situation like that. Because a lot of people that get touched, some don't make it past,
No,
some
they don't.
life. They take their own self out because of the trauma. They didn't feel like they were heard. And I feel like if mothers, dads, anyone would just start listening to their kids whenever they say someone has touched them, because I don't feel there's no kid that have to lie about that. That's just my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But that would be the last thing of me.
And well, if you don't have your own story, I'm gonna say that is a good thing if it has not happened to you. Um, but I don't even use the term molestation anymore because I actually looked up the definition. And so if I'm wrong, y'all have to just excuse me. But my understanding of it, molestation, which is also wrong, is when you're being touched inappropriately. But when they penetrate, it is rape. And I had to took me some years to be okay with calling it what it was and not smoothing it over a little bit with molestation. We've said it so much that we've almost made it sound not like it's horrific, not like it's hurtful, not like it's painful, not like it's traumatizing. That word to me just doesn't carry the same weight. I'm going to call it what it is for me in my life, and that is rape. And it is definitely wrong. Molestation is wrong. Rape is wrong. And these men, I met this lady, and he did it to his own daughters, but he did molest them. He did not rape them. And he got 10 years because that mother took him to court and said, if you say anything other than guilty, I'm going to take you out. But she said it the other way. I don't want to get shut down. But that's how it should happen, like immediately, because if they had consequences to suffer, the men that do it, the women that do it.
Yeah, that too. Men are not the only, women do it too.
Women do it too. And I just feel like if there were consequences to suffer, it would not be happening to as many children because it's continuing to happen.
And whenever the consequences do come, the justice system is very corrupt. They don't give people as much time as they need to.
No, you can get more time for having an open can of beer or something than you can for doing something like that. So yeah, it's just I don't know. Something needs to be done, and that definitely needs to be reformed and changed so that the consequences can be, I'm not doing that. I mean, there's countries that's going to take you out. And if they don't take you out, they're going to take some stuff off of you, and you're going to wish that you're going to be begging for them to take you out. And that's how it should be. I guarantee you it wouldn't be happening as often as it did if there were consequences.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So let me ask you this. You are young, but if you could tell your younger self something, what would you tell your younger self?
To let it go.
To let it go.
Life goes on. The world never stops spinning. This earth is always spinning, so there's always going to be something that comes your way. And you can't keep on brushing everything under the rug because it's just going to cause more harm to you as you go on,
And so along this journey, who would you say gave you the greatest source of your strength or inspiration? Who would that person be?
God.
Okay. I'm loving it. And then, so let it go was good, just to tell your younger self. How does it feel to have shared some of your story? I know you got a whole lot more to tell, but we're going to close it out here, and then we're going to invite you back when you want to share more, because it is a process. And I know that it's a process.
It is.
I still don't share everything from my story. I said this earlier on the 11 o'clock live. It's almost like you I don't want to say that you're protecting the other people, but kinda I think that's what it is. Cause I'm like, what's so hard? What's taking you so long just to be just
Open
get it all out and
open about it.
Just be open about it.
I would say that's the thing, but also it's like you could be so hurt by it still. It's not just protecting. It's just, protecting your own feelings and just not wanting to reach down into that topic because you know that you will just that topic is going to hit you.
But there will come a time, if you're still in that place in your healing journey, there will come a time, because you've already started the process right here tonight, that you're going to tell more and you're going to tell more. And then the more you tell it, you could tell it without even feeling the emotion, without even crying about it. You find yourself being stronger every time you tell it. excuse me, that's what I was saying about feeling free from it. But there
Right.
are parts of it that take a little bit longer to share, and that's okay. You know, it's a journey. We ain't sprinting to the end of this. Like, we're taking one day at a time, one topic at a time. And I think you're doing great.
Thank
You
you.
can tell that you definitely have wisdom, and you seem very mature for 19 years old,
Thank
loving
you.
and handsome, all of the things. How do you feel sharing some of your story tonight?
I feel good. Like you said, it's more like freeing. I feel the more I do get to talk about it, the more it would most definitely lift up off of me.
Mm-hmm. I
But
think so.
I feel good. I was nervous at first, but now I'm just like, we're doing this.
We're doing it. I know. It's not that bad. So since you have all these words of wisdom, for we've been on here like 45 minutes, 46 minutes. If you could tell the audience, if you didn't get anything else from tonight's episode, this one takeaway, this is what I want you to take away. So I want you to think about that, because I did not go to the commercial break. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to come right back for your last golden nugget for the takeaway.
Yes.
Well, I think we're going to go to it. Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? I think this is. We'll be right back, y'all. Hang tight, my sunshine. Conversations with Celena. We'll be right back. Hey, sunshine. All right. So I may have asked you this already, like a different way, but as we approach the end, if there's anything that you want the audience to take away from the things that you've shared tonight, what would be that takeaway?
I know I said something first. I will say the world keeps spinning. Um, you know, just live your life because you only have one life to live. You weren't put here for no reason. You're here to live your life, and whatever you get through your life and whatever you learn from the ups and downs, tell it because it could be someone else, you know, treasure. Someone else can take the wisdom from what you have. Um, because don't ever think that you're the only person that's went through it, that's going through it, because there's other people that's probably went through it and you could get advice from, or someone that's going through it, they could get that advice from you. You can always be someone's leader, someone's support, and someone's way out. So that's all I have to share.
That's right. And you're right. You could be the actual blueprint of helping someone else. The young lady that was on this morning, the experience that she went through, she actually went to a psychiatrist, like the hospital, and the lady asked her some questions that led her into publishing her journals, making money, and now she's showing other people how to do the same thing. So what was supposed to take you out can actually turn into your purpose. Like that, the pain that you went through will not be in vain, and it will turn into your purpose. And you can help other people by sharing and telling them and talking to them, because the people that have already taken themselves out, like you were talking about earlier,
Mhm.
all they needed was somebody to listen, someone to understand, so they wouldn't feel so isolated and so alone.
Yes, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. And then when you said about becoming and doing and being a leader, it made me think about, I didn't ask you, what do you want to be? I mean, I would say when you grow up, but like you are already grown now. So what are your hopes and dreams and aspirations? Because it sounds like, the beginning was rough with your mom and, all of that. So now that you're 19 and you're taking control of your life, what direction do you see yourself going?
Well, whenever I get all the way there, I want to be
Wait a
a
minute,
speaker
how old is all the way there?
just a little bit more further, a little bit
Okay,
more
because
experience.
like you could go off to war right now, so because you're of age. So I just I'm asking. I know, but my
Um,
2-year-old, I understand. So what do you want to be when you grow up?
the biggest thing, I want to be a speaker for mental health because I want to put it out there more that it's a big thing in your life. It's something that's going to keep you going also. Like, no matter, I hate to put it that way, but people have been through 10 times worse than me ever. And, they're doing good. And I look at those people and I try to get inspiration from those people because how do you go through something so terrible and so hard and still come out on top? That's the thing I want people to look at in the world. Stop looking at all the negative and please look at all the positives that could come into your life and that has came into your life. Because no matter what, life is always going to come with its ups and downs.
It is. It is. And is this your first podcast ever?
Yes.
So when you become this top requested, highly paid speaker on mental health, you will be able to say that my first podcast that I did was over there with Miss Celena on Conversations with Celena. I was in Mississippi. Thank God I'm not there anymore. But that could be all part of your testimony. And I'm gonna be sitting in the audience like cheering you on, completely excited, because you will be living out your dream and you will not let what happened to you take you down the wrong road, but it will take you down the right road, turning it into something that's so inspirational, so impactful for people's lives that when you get off the stage, prayerfully, their life will be transformed. And so, I'm excited for you. I know that you can do it. I heard you speaking the other night and I was like, he is so well spoken. I love it.
Thank
And
you.
you got the looks to go with it. So listen, the people are going to love you. I already know. I could see it. You've spoken it, put it out there, and we are in agreement with that. That is what you will become. And you're already on your road to doing it now.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And thank you so much for joining. Be sure to put Conversation with Celena on your calendar to come back. So
Of
when you get
course.
to the next level and you ready to share even more because you're in a healthy space and you want to come talk about mental health, because let me see. Is it October? Is that mental health month? Let me see. Mental health. You should know off the top of your head. I should know off the top of my head. I can't think right now. Let me see. Let me look it up because I'm going to ask you right up here in front. Mental Health Awareness Month. Oh, it's May. You might not want to come back that soon. But if you want to, we can both do some research on mental health and make us a slide, a PowerPoint, and we can come back and talk about mental health in May if you want to do that.
Yes, I'll take that offer.
Okay. Sounds like a plan to me. Well, y'all, thank you so much for joining and showing Mari love. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us. Let me see. I don't know if my heart kind of rocked. It's kind of wonky because my fingers are little. But thank you so much for joining, and we will put you on the schedule for May.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining. Thank you for showing Mari love. And in the meantime, until next time, keep it smiling, sunshine. Mwah. Y'all have a great night.